all sorts of things changed, just massive change in my life.
Wow.
Because fear just falls away.
Yeah.
When you've dealt with the fear you've been carrying for a long time because of all the trauma and the pain and the distress, the fear just falls away.
So you're now both trained in this, what's it called?
The
Discipline?
It's a therapy, so a process. So it's called the Richards Trauma Process. TRTP Therapy is the new website for it.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Richards Trauma Process.
TRTP.
Okay.
And look, it's an amazing therapy, literally in 3 weeks, and we have seen client after client after client.
Tell me about the premise, the overview of why it's different and effective compared to other existing therapy options.
Well, I guess the big part of it is that, you know, of all our brain's processing, only 5% of our brain's processing is conscious, logical and rational, and the other 95% of our brain's processing is all the things we're not aware of, all the unconscious processing that we've got going on inside us. Now we need all that because we don't want to have to say to our legs, left, right. We don't want to have to say to our lungs, breathe in, breathe out. So we just need all those automatic processes, you know, they all need to be there. But in those automatic processes is all the injuries, it's all the beliefs that we've, you know, children from you know, even in the womb to 7 or 8 years old, we're just sponges and we soak up everything from our perception because we're egocentrical when we're young. So if something sad happens or distressful happens,
7 or 8.
Yes, but you know, children turn in a negative experience. It's me. There's something wrong with me. I deserve to be punished. You know, there's you know, I'm not lovable. That's
a common thing to observe in children of divorce.
Right.
To say, what did I do wrong?
Yes.
You know, I'll be
I'm
good.
to blame
Can you stay
for.
together?
I'm the reason Mum and Dad got
I have a friend in New
divorced.
Zealand who makes the statement: children are excellent recorders of information, lousy interpreters. And so those little sponges are soaking up all that information, processing it in their tiny little brains, and making wrong conclusions in some cases.
So we have all those beliefs. So in our unconscious, the part we're not aware of in our brain's processing, you know, that's where we've formed all these beliefs about ourselves very young that are, you know, any negative experience, children turn it into it's me, there's something wrong with me. I deserve to be punished, I'm not lovable, all those kinds of beliefs. So we have those running inside of us. And then every negative experience, you know, this is our brain's ability to, you know, for example, to process a normal event. So if a just normal everyday event comes along, it fits inside our brain, it gets date stamped, gets long-term memory. But when things, particularly when we're young, are very overwhelming, very distressing for us, they're just way too big to fit in. So then it doesn't get processed, it doesn't get date stamped, doesn't get put into long-term memory, so it stays stuck over here. So for all of us, we've got what we call video loops. It's just it's still happening now, it's still happening now, and that's the triggering that just takes us right back. So all of that is inside our unconscious running us. You know, our brain's primary purpose is to keep us safe. So if we've got an experience running inside of us that's saying it's still happening now, it's still happening now, you know, then our brain's trying to keep us safe from something that happened when we were 2 years old, but we might be 52 now.
Yeah.
So if I'm trying to get a coffee from a vendor who's not allowed to sell it to me, I'm a 14-year-old kid back in my high school getting pushed up against a wall by a bully.
Yeah, it sounds like the sensitivity a bruise would have.
Yes.
The injury might have been done ages ago, but it continues
and the bruise is
to
never
be
healed.
Sensitive.
And every time someone pushes on it,
yeah, and that push wasn't the injury.
No.
It was just the catalyst.
Yes, so the difference with the Richards Trauma Process, or TRTP, that we do is that it's dealing with the injuries that are inside of us, and often people aren't aware of the actual injuries, but the symptoms of it are turning up: the depression, the anxiety, stress, the PTSD, the you know, just being in fight, flight, freeze all the time like Dean was, and just being overreacting to things. You know, those are the symptoms that show us that we've got unprocessed stuff inside. We all have baggage, you know. Nobody leaves their childhood without some kind of injury. Some people have a whole backpack full of rocks, and they're carrying the weight of their childhood and the pain and the distress. Others just have some, but we're all carrying things that aren't helpful for us, because, you know, if we can be triggered by something, we can overreact to something, then we're not calm, we're not regulated, we're not responding in a healthy way. You know.